when I do my concerts, and I do, I don't know, 150, 200 concerts.
Oh, we'll talk about your
Yeah,
busy schedule.
We do that. That I do have a section of it. Mostly I sing to live tracks, you know, off of my iPad and all that. And the kids love that. But I do bring my acoustic guitar, and I have a really cool old, like a Kiss 70s Flying Y, bright yellow guitar. Oh yeah, the kids, I just pull that thing out and the kids go, whoa.
Hello everyone and welcome to On the Grid. My name is EJ Moreno, and in this show we spotlight artists, filmmakers, creators who make our area better. Today we have a award-winning child entertainment specialist. I will say you are quite amazing, and we have a super fun guy, Jack Hartmann. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Glad to be here, EJ. Thank you very much. My pleasure.
I am amazed by what you do as a artist, as a creator. We usually learn in Hollywood you never work with animals and children, but you decided to work with children. It looks like most of your life you were a social worker, I believe, at one point as well.
Yes, you're correct. I was a social worker, right?
Tell me where we got to, the early days of what got you to this point.
Well, I would say probably, to get into children's music, probably two crosswords, you know, that really kind of was significant in leading me towards children's music. I was getting my degree at the University of Florida in child psychology, and this is way back in the 60s, late 60s. And why I didn't get a job at McDonald's or Burger King or something that was around the corner, I don't know, but I got my part-time job at the hospital they had an inpatient research facility, a residential facility, working with and doing research on children with autism, which back in 1969 was that
was before we even really put a name on everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's why it was kind of a research, and they would bring in these top psychiatrists from all over the world. So I worked there part-time. I think I did a volunteer work there, and they said, do you have any talents or particular things that the children might like? And I said, well, I play the guitar. And they go, oh, we like that. Bring the guitar in, because what they want the children with autism to do, sometimes they will tend sometimes to, they don't socialize as well or look at each other and talk, so sometimes they'll drift off. But anything you can do to get their attention on a person and look at you, the doctors and parents, they love that. So that's where I kind of got started. I brought the guitar in, I wrote a few songs for the kids there, so I did that. So that was at Shands Hospital. And then I went on, got my degree and worked in social work, and I moved down to St. Pete, working with pre-delinquent, delinquent youth as a social worker. And I was actually singing, doing, what was I making back then as a social worker in 1970s? I don't know, $17,000, I think, something like that.
Yeah.
To supplement that income a little bit, I would sing, because I knew how to play, and I used to play Jimmy Buffett songs and James Taylor and Gordon Lightfoot and all that stuff. So I was your bar singer at your local bar or at the beach bar or whatever, and I was a guy singing, you know, wasting away again. I would do all that. So I was doing that. I had a very, very tough job as a social worker. It was a supervisor of a residential program for seriously, they called it seriously emotionally disturbed pre-adolescent boys.
Wow.
And these were young boys from 8 to 12 years old that had so many challenging emotional problems, behavioral problems, that they were in foster homes, but the foster parents couldn't manage some of those things. So they took those kids and they put them in our residential program. And I was the supervisor. There was the psychiatrist that was over it all, and I was the supervisor. So I wasn't married then, on my own. And so this is working residential. So you go home to your apartment and you're sleeping at 4 o'clock. Johnny ran away. You got to come out the residential. So it was a very stressful job. It was a very, very important job, very good job, very stressful job. So I lasted so I was, working as a social worker, doing that, playing in the bars and the clubs. And then I started to really get kind of not feel too well and get really tired, and I was losing weight. Went to the doctor, said I had a lot of stress. I said, yes, I do. And they said, you have hypoglycemia. I didn't even know what that was. Anyway, so I left that job.
Yeah.
And I can't, I did it 2 years, and I can't do it anymore. So I had just bought a condo on the beach. I had pay the mortgage. I have no job now other than singing at the bars.
Yeah.
So I did substitute teaching.
Oh.
And so you usually get a call, can you teach first grade, can you teach kindergarten for 1 day? So anyway, I got a call, can you teach kindergarten? So I already had like 8 or 9 years experience in mental health. So can you teach kindergarten for about a month? It was a small school in St. Petersburg called North Ward Elementary. Can you teach kindergarten for a couple of weeks, a month? And I said, oh, this is a goal. 2 weeks work. This is $36 a day. That's what I was getting.
Yeah.
So anyway, make a long story short, so where it comes back to where I got the main direction here is that, so I was at this kindergarten, at the school in kindergarten. There were only 2 kindergarten classes. The older kindergarten teacher was in a car accident, so she was the one I was substituting for. The other was a first-year kindergarten teacher. She was 23, I guess, and she would come over, and I'd have my guitar. She'd come over, and she'd offer me to help. You know, can I help you with anything? Can I show you anything? And thank you very, very, very much. So she was very, very kind, very, very nice. She asked me, can I do children's songs? I said, sure. I can write songs, anything. What do you want me to do? Can you do the nursery rhymes? No problem. So that's how I got started there. That kindergarten teacher, who was the one that was in there, was 23. I was a little bit older. I was 9 years older. That's my wife of 42 years.
Oh, okay. So I got the origin story of your career and a love story.
And a love story.
All in, that is, first
That's
off,
it.
I'm going to take a step back there. I have to say, I love that you are someone that had to be told to bring out your guitar.
Yeah.
Most people in my experience, the guitar guy's already playing. And you're like, okay, the party's not starting with the guitar guys there.
That's right.
No, that's amazing. I
Yeah,
love that you kind of instantly fell into this. And not instantly, but it seems like you found that place early. I want to take you back a little bit further even than that.
Okay.
What was the Jack Hartmann for you when you were growing up? I know, like, I've interviewed filmmaker John Waters, and he talks about Howdy Doody was a big part of his life growing up. Do you remember a figure? Because I know 80s we had like a Pee Wee Herman, we had Captain Kangaroo.
No, I go back further than that. But no, I do remember. I was really, really into music. I remember my parents. Neither one played an instrument, but my mother really was a big fan of Johnny Mathis.
Yes.
I remember.
Yeah.
Chances are that I remember.
My parents just saw him do a Christmas concert. He's still touring.
He's still touring.
What
is he, 88, 89?
Worker.
Yeah,
I would be done by now.
Yeah. But I was really in tune with music. I don't know whether you know some of these artists or not, but one you certainly will. But I do remember seeing Elvis Presley on TV.
Who was that again?
Yeah.
I don't really remember that one.
And he would do, it was kind of a, I mean, back then it was just a cool rock and roll song, but now it sounds like it's almost partially like a kid's song.
Yeah.
You ain't nothing but a hound dog, rocking all the time. Oh,
we'll get the copyright clearance for all this, I'm sure.
I like that. I like that. So what happened? I was at a Catholic school back in the 50s.
Ooh.
So you think they're tough in some ways now. Back then, the nuns were very, very strict and very tough. And way back when, rock and roll, obviously Elvis wasn't really that accepted in a lot of places. Hey, they call me Jackie back then. Can Jackie get up on stage and do a little You Ain't Nothing But a Hound Dog? Can you do it, Jackie? Sure.
Wow.
So it was like a little 5-year-old, 6-year-old, I remember doing that. No guitar, no music, just doing that song.
I thought you would have been labeled a juvenile delinquent at that time.
Yeah,
that was very of the time to be like, oh, Elvis, the hip shaking. That's amazing.
Well, I didn't do any hip shaking, but anyway.
No, that's just, I know that time period too.
Yeah.
I just love that love of music seems to be early on.
Yeah.
And then, I'm very jealous as a lover of 70s. you got things like the Carpenters, original run of all these amazing things.
Yeah.
So was music always, are you like a music fan, like,
Oh, yeah.
just kind of vibe into your own stuff?
Absolutely. And I remember first that, I do remember the Elvis singing that. I do remember in the Catholic school doing You Ain't Nothing But a Hound Dog. But also I got into, back then obviously it was just, you saw them on Ed Sullivan every now and then on the show. Or mostly you just heard it on the radio.
Yeah.
And you see these guys once in a while on major variety shows like that.
Like American Bandstand.
Exactly, American Bandstand, exactly. I remember some other names that I remember. I thought these guys were so cool, and I guess I wanted to be kind of like these guys. There was a guy named Fabian.
Ooh, that's a pull there.
Oh yeah, pretty cool guy. Frankie Avalon. Those are some of them.
I would say I was a Grease fan. Frankie Avalon, you got me there with that one.
But anyway, so I saw that, and I guess, my dad was a great guy, not really into music very much, but I saw Elvis had the guitar and everything, so I do remember saying to my dad, I'd like to get a guitar. And he was great. He took me, and he worked in New York City, took me into, I believe, I didn't know what a pawn shop was back then, but I believe that's where he took me. And got me my first guitar when I was about 10 years old, and then just learned the chords myself.
I absolutely love that you had a parent who
They did.
guided you. My
did.
mother, when I said I'm going to be a filmmaker, I want to go to film school, she was like, cool. You can start working on the VHS collection that you have.
Right.
And I just love that you had that. Is that something you try to look for now, is pushing these artist kids to find that place as well? Is that a little small passion of you? Because, imagine your father not getting you that guitar.
Absolutely.
What would have been now?
Yeah, absolutely. No, he did. When I do my concerts, and I do, 150, 200 concerts.
Oh, we'll talk about your busy schedule.
We do that. That I do have a section of it. Mostly I sing to live tracks, off of my iPad and all that. And the kids love that. But I do bring my acoustic guitar, and I have a really cool old, like a Kiss 70s Flying Y, bright yellow guitar. Oh yeah, the kids, I just pull that thing out and the kids go, whoa. And then just for 20 seconds, I have a distortion box on it. And so, you sure you want me to do this now? Yeah. How about I do it for you kids? How about I do it just a little bit? No, we want it loud. I go, okay. So then I just crank a couple of power chords and they just go crazy. So they see me play the guitar, and I tell them a little bit. My dad got me the guitar when I was 10, and it's funny that after I do the concerts, a lot of times the teacher will send in the mail to me thank you notes or pictures and drawings that the kids do. And very, very frequently, very common, is that the picture that they send will be a picture of them, of course, but of me with the yellow guitar. That's the main image they have.
You burn in your head, and I'm a big fan of the phrase, like, you can't be it unless you see it.
Yeah, okay, cool.
And seeing you, that can inspire somebody, because I never knew, like, I grew up in a low-income area as a Spanish kid, being like, what do you mean I could be a filmmaker? And then you see a documentary, you're like, oh, I can.
Yeah,
I found my place.
Right,
so we learned a little bit of that origin story. We learned your early days.
Sure.
Tell me about the kind of YouTube era of working on this, and how was that? I'm from the social media marketing age.
Right.
Tell me about the old school grind of that. How did you get your name out there? How did you kind of start building that fan base that you have?
I love music, love writing songs for kids, and started doing it, back, as I said, in '69 when I did it with at the hospital. Met my wife in '81, so I started writing more songs then. I worked in a place called the Juvenile Welfare Board, which had a lot of people that work with children. So we would do conferences for child care providers. So I would do these conferences for teachers, and then they would hire me to do songs. Oh, you do songs for kids. Well, we love using songs for children in the classroom. So I would do, they'd pay me a little money to do it. And I sold a few records, but not anywhere near enough to make a living. So I kept on doing the social work and worked with the Juvenile Welfare Board for probably, 20 years.
Wow.
So I didn't make you hear about musicians, can you make a living doing music? I I probably wasn't able to make a living doing music until I was 50.
Wow, I mean,
Probably.
that is a great lesson for anyone. It's not an overnight thing, and
Yeah.
I just love, because I remember in the '90s there would be still a little bit of vinyl, but the educational CDs that we would get,
Right.
the music, and
Right.
that feels lost a little bit in the digital age.
Yep.
But you said, hold on, I'm going to come to the digital age, and I always love someone who won't run away from it. So you're starting to get the YouTube bug going there. Tell me how you started with finding YouTube.
Good question. Well, we did the vinyl, of course. Then we went to cassettes, and then we started doing DVDs. And I'm not sure I can remember the year of this, but anyway, we've been doing YouTube about 13 years.
Yep.
So I remember this because my wife has been with me since we went back then, building the business, and she was a kindergarten teacher. And so we were making DVDs, and we jumped into DVDs. We were kind of new at that point back then. So with making a DVD, you have to write the song, takes time. Have to record the song, takes time, takes money. Have to hire someone to shoot the video, more money, more time. And then you put it on DVD and you sell it for, $20. So we're doing that. And then YouTube comes along, and some people that we know saying, you should do YouTube. And you go, wait a second, let's see if I understand this. We're going to do all this, write the song, record the song, pay for the video, make the DVD. Now we're taking the video, all that work, and we're going to stick it on YouTube for free and cross our fingers and see if we can make any money? Well, we ain't doing that. No. We did. That's where we were.
I ran from early YouTube myself because I was just like, this doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense. How are we going to make money at this? So we didn't know. We were naive. We didn't know. I wish in hindsight, listen, no big deal now. It's evolved very nicely, but we probably would have been better if we had said, let's go ahead and do it. So finally, about 2 years later, we said, okay, let's try it. We didn't know that much what we were doing. We were using real backgrounds. Oh, this is a beautiful fall road with beautiful leaves in it, or a lake. Little children don't care if it's a real lake or not.
Absolutely.
They want a colorful, fun lake with toys and colors and rainbows and stuff like that. So we did it back then, but we got started with it. And even then, again, 13, 14 years ago, so we applied to be monetized and make money at it. So we get our first check from YouTube, and after a month of doing all this or whatever. And we get the check, and we had, some employees. I think we were working out of our house still. And we get the check, and we go, $400. Okay. What am I going to do with $400 for a month? This is not working.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure exactly everything in between, but we just kind of hung in there, and then the checks got to be maybe 1,000 or a little more. I go, oh, maybe this is working. And then you just learn, you just learn how to do it better, how to do it different, do the song where it's nice and lit up instead of you're in a shadow, all the video stuff that we didn't know.
I can imagine you having to learn video production almost on the fly.
Yes.
I love that your wife is such a big part of this.
She's been
is she
all the way,
a songwriter as well? I have so many questions about your songwriting process, and what is it like? I think people will see a children's song and go, what is it? No, how much is that puppy in the window? Kind of very simple. But your songs they're catchy.
Yes.
I come from loving pop music, and you need a song that gets stuck in your head.
Right.
You need that hook, that chorus. Tell me about
Absolutely.
crafting some of these songs. Do you work with partners? Tell me about that. Your process seems
my
interesting.
wife loves to sing. She says she doesn't have a good voice, but she does have a nice voice.
None of us
She
like
says
it.
she has the soul of a singer, not the vocal cords of a singer. So, but she is the educational brains here. She's worked as a wonderful kindergarten teacher. So I will run by her on, is this gonna? I write a song about teaching kids rhyming, and they do a movement when they rhyme, one movement, and do another movement when it doesn't rhyme, and I run it by her. I say, listen to this. I'm really proud of it. Listen to this. This is really cool, isn't it? And she will take her experience as a kindergarten teacher in the classroom, and she says, not going to work that way.
At least she's honest.
She's very honest. So I pretty much am the songwriter. I take pride. I can't fix much around the house, but I can songwrite. I think it just, when I grew up, the music that I grew up with, you know, basically folk music, but, you know, Peter, Paul and Mary, very good melodies, and into the Beatles, beautiful.
I mean, Mamas and the Papas,
Mamas
Carpenters,
and Papas.
like, yeah.
Listen to the melodies there. Listen to the music there, and so I consider myself a bit of a good melody person, and I guess from playing the guitar at a young age, melodies come to me pretty easily, and songwriting comes pretty easily. So sometimes I know the topic myself already, or teachers just send me different topics. Can you do a song on this? And I go, okay, I hadn't thought about that, but what did we get one the other day? This is for little older kids. Please, we love your songs. I forget what state, email. We love your songs, we sing them all the time. I got switched up to 4th and 5th grade, and we'd really love a song on symmetry. And I go, okay. So sometimes I really need to connect with that teacher, or I have to research it and do it that way. But once I get the grasp of the theme of what I need to write about, whether it be symmetry or whether it be just counting to 100 or anything, I'm pretty good at coming up with the melody. It's a process of the melody comes, sometimes several melodies come, and just like probably any good writer, I think an important part of it, of songwriting, I think writing in general, is eliminating the garbage.
Yeah. Killing your darlings.
That's yeah. That's, you sing it and you go, let's try it again. And I have a great guy in the recording studio. He has his own studio in his house. We've worked together about 25 years.
Wow.
And sometimes he will, get me in a different direction. Let's do this. Let's do this. And I say, okay. But I love coming up with good melodies, and that's why the kids, it's great to go see. And some of these songs that I've written, I've been doing this a while. So I go into school a couple of weeks ago, a week ago, and I had a set in mind that I was going to do, and it wasn't including this particular song. And so the kids all kind of call out, please do Spread a Little Sunshine. I said, okay, I wasn't thinking of doing that, but the chorus is just, spread a little sunshine to start this day off right. I'm gonna spread a little sunshine with my own special light. There's the chorus. There it is, baby. And,
wow.
And that's all you need. It's just a hook like that, and then I can write. Then once I get the hook, then the verses or the content,
The meat.
the meat of it, then I can just put it in, we go a little somewhere different melodically. So, 2,000 songs later.
2,000.
Yeah,
I mean, your
something like
catalog
that.
must be wild. And I have to ask, so you kind of come from this background of education, a little bit of that.
Yeah.
I have so many questions I want to ask. I'm like, God, can we do a 40-minute interview with you? So has education ever wanted to expand to maybe music education? I might want to learn how to write like you. I think that's such a skill. Have you ever thought about maybe passing along for the next version of you that can be there? We need a new Mr. Rogers.
That's a heck of a good idea. No, I've never really done anything like that in certain terms of songwriting. Once in a while, someone will ask me, how do you come up with it, like you did a little bit, but very, very rarely. Me and my buddy, I work with, I really come up with the initial idea, the educational idea. I run it by my wife too, but I come up with the original melody. And then sometimes my buddy James, he'll just say, we kind of went in that direction back on that other song.
Wow.
Let's go a little bit different. I'll say, okay.
I love the honesty that you surround yourself with. Usually people want yes men. You said I need people to challenge me.
Oh,
men.
Yeah. And we've had all kinds of, especially doing educational music. We try to make it fun, try to make it catchy. But we really pride ourselves, because my wife's a kindergarten teacher, and teachers, I don't know what percent, but teachers are our main audience, primarily. And of course, they are wonderful, dedicated, smart individuals, and they know the way that this should be taught, this concept. Say even the letter sounds, how to teach the letter sounds. You don't say B says ba. You don't say ba. You say ba. Because when you say ba, like if you say baby, they'll come on too. What are you going to say? Ba baby? Don't teach the kid that way. When they get tough, don't teach the kid that way. Don't say it that way. You cut it tight and short and just say the sound. So we were in the studio for the last 3 days, honestly. And this one song, it's a cute song. I get dressed up. It's a pirate theme, teaching kids letter sounds. And there's kind of a new wave of saying the letter sounds correctly, just like I told you.
Yeah.
We were in the studio for 3 days, not 3 full days, but 3 times, getting to say the letter B sound correctly. Oh, you're saying too much B or B. What do you want me to do? Anyway, so we really, I try to combine both, I think, is really catchy music, catchy melodies, and most importantly, the educational content.
No, I love that. I love, again, like I said, love the people around you that want to push you, and that's amazing. So kind of last little thing I want to ask.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to talk about before we go? Any kind of messages you want to leave? And also then, where can we find you at?
Sure. Well, we love what we do, my wife and all our whole team. We're so glad, we're so appreciative and blessed to be doing this for kids, and I love doing the concerts. Like I said, I did one this morning, and to see the kids, laughing and smiling. And this school that I was at, they probably had about 50 parents there too, to see the teachers smiling and the kids smiling and have a good time. Keeps me young. I feel great doing it, so I'm very, very fortunate to be doing it. And our channel, our Jack Hartmann Kids Music Channel, and one other thing I'm doing that for your audience or wherever, I got into this recently. I do quite a few cameos.
I could see you. You have such a good personality. I would love it. I mean, I need you to team up with the Miss Rachel over there.
Yeah.
Get you guys going.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that. I don't know what kind of time you have left, but our go-to person, we have an advisor from YouTube, and she advises us, and I don't know what other people she does, but when you get certain subscribers, you get an advisor.
Yes.
Because the better we do,
the better they do.
The better they do. So they want us to make more money. Anyway, so she just actually brought out, she said, have you thought about any collaborations you want to do? And I said, I don't know. There's a wonderful lady, Miss Monica, wonderful lady. She's terrific. And she said, why don't you Miss Monica get together and do something? We brought up to Miss Rachel, maybe you and she do something together. I said, that'd be cool. She's up in New York with all her theater people and all that. So I have a couple of ideas that we might do. Maybe Miss Monica and Miss Rachel and maybe somebody else will do a little song together.
I mean, Jack Hartmann and Miss Rachel coming together, that is Elvis and Whitney Houston for the kids. People need that. That's amazing.
You go. There you
Jack,
go.
thank you so much for speaking with me
my
today.
pleasure.
It was great.
EJ, my pleasure.
And I want to say thank you all to tuning in. You got to see the beauty that is Jack's big energy, big personality, super fun, as I will love to call him because of your lovely work. So thank you guys for watching On the Grid. My name is EJ Moreno. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and make sure you guys check out our next episode.
Hi, I'm Jack Hartmann from Jack Hartmann Kids Music Channel, and you're watching Tampa Bay Community Network.